Connor back toward the line. Pionk walks the line. Wristed through traffic. He scores! Jets win! Jets win! Jets win! In double overtime tonight!
I made a video at the start of these playoffs, and I titled it, "We Need This." The Winnipeg Jets needed that. The city of Winnipeg needed that. The team needed that. The NHL playoffs is all about stories. And what better story than Game 7, the first one ever played in Winnipeg, overtime, 1 second left, your best two players gone, out, injured, goalie ready to step up and play, and then overtime is iced by your captain, who the coach chose to create a new identity on this team after so many painful playoff failures. Ladies and gentlemen, the Winnipeg Jets got through the first round, and yes, the rest of the league will look at the Jets and the Jets fan base and say, you're acting like you won the Stanley Cup. Well, the rest of the league isn't from a city of 780,000 people. The rest of the league isn't from a city with a metro area of no more than 850. The rest of the league doesn't have to rely on 35% of the population to carry an entire sports franchise. The rest of the league isn't from a desolate, isolate, cold, frozen tundra on the Canadian Shield city, a transportation hub, a gateway to the West, a place people stop on the way to places. No, they're not. And the Winnipeg Jets and their fans needed this. In order to become greatness, you need confidence. And in order to have confidence, you need to be great. They go hand in hand.
He beat them because he refused to lose. But we have to believe that we're divine and that we learn from our experience, because confidence breeds success and success breeds confidence. They go hand in hand.
And to be able to knock every narrative down in one period, in one overtime goal, means everything for a franchise. The St. Louis Blues tested the Winnipeg Jets like no one could have tested the Winnipeg Jets. The St. Louis Blues hit everything that moved up the middle, and moved Winnipeg right to the brink of breaking. It's at that brink, when you've hit rock bottom, that you finally decide, are you going to get up or are you going to fold?
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
And to be frank, for a long time in Game 6 and Game 7, it looked like Winnipeg was ready to fold. And then on the back of a young kid who struggled to stay in the lineup in his first few years, who is historically compared to other players in his draft year from Winnipeg like Seth Jarvis, who has been waiting to ascend, marred with injuries and concussions, and at one point wondered, is he a bust? Puts in 2 goals without Mark Scheifele, without Josh Morrissey, and takes the Winnipeg Jets to the promised land so the captain can put the icing on the cake. Connor Hellebuyck made 26 saves. He was not good in the first 2 periods, but that doesn't matter. What matters is wins. Vezina trophies don't matter. The narrative was there the entire playoffs. You need to play in big games. Jordan Binnington wins hockey in big games. Well, Connor Hellebuyck had to overcome that, and Connor Hellebuyck had to show he could win in big games. And in 2 overtimes and a third period, the real Connor Hellebuyck finally stood up. He is the league and the team MVP. You are required as a goaltender in an individual position on a team game. You are the only player that can control the outcome of a game to that level. You can steal games. You need to steal games. Paul Maurice talked about that in his presser with the Florida Panthers, Winnipeg legend. Your goaltender needs to steal games to win a Stanley Cup. He knows something about winning a Stanley Cup now. Connor Hellebuyck showed up when it mattered and did that. The question the Jets are going to have to answer after this series is,
what did it cost?
Everything.
what did it cost? Did it cost everything? And what did you get back from it? Is that mental resolve and that playoff toughness from a bunch of players that everybody in the league has already counted out in the next round after struggling with St. Louis enough? There are no bad players in the NHL. Are these boys ready to go? They're bruised, they're hurt, they're slashed, but the playoffs is all about here. When it comes to playoff hockey, every inch matters. And what we saw in that overtime was a St. Louis Blues team moving the puck at will with the Winnipeg Jets taking it away. They did not do that through the entire series, but they found a gear. That's the gear they're going to have to play with for the rest of the playoffs, and everybody has to find that gear some way, somehow, on their own. This is a gift the St. Louis Blues will leave with Winnipeg. They will leave Mark Scheifele with a concussion. They will likely leave Josh Morrissey with a concussion. Brandon Tanev's hand from a blocked shot. Vlad Nemestikov, broken ribs, elbow, everything you could imagine doesn't stay down. That doesn't matter. What matters is your mental resolve to get it through. Every team will have a list of 15 to 20 injuries. Now the question is, how did they do it? What can they channel? And what can Winnipeg learn from this game? The St. Louis Blues. This was a team not meant to make the playoffs. This was a team playing with house money. This was a team that has shown you can rebuild without tanking and hitting the bottom. Snuggerud, Neighbors. Their fourth line, tons of minutes for the Faxa line. Torpachenko, fantastic. Walker, fantastic. Defense, fantastic. Trey Tucker will be back. He'll be an important part of that blue line, and he'll grow as some of those old guys age out. The future is very bright for St. Louis, and they are writing a blueprint about how to do it without completely hitting the bottom. Hello, Chicago Blackhawks. You can get the best player all you want, but you can't give up an entire team where it's going to take forever to get out of that hole. You also have to draft smartly. The Buffalo Sabres have drafted in the top 12 for the last 20 years. They ain't there. The future's bright for St. Louis. But I think there's a few people in Winnipeg that are happy to say that Jim Montgomery now has an entire offseason to start his medical degree. Scott Arniel needed that one. The young coach, I get it, and no coach is really that young. Monty may even be younger than him. I have no idea. But the more inexperienced coach in Arniel needed that one. Montgomery's already got a proven legacy. He knows how to win. The gamesmanship between the two in the series is a lesson Arniel must relish in, take back, and be thankful for, because he will be better because of it. Pressure makes diamonds. Pressure also makes nothing. We like to talk about the diamonds that come out. We like to talk about the stories that end like Cinderella, where people rise from nothing into something. But the reality is, for hockey, most of the time, and sports, that doesn't happen. The Game 6, Game 7 pace was in favor of St. Louis. So thank goodness if you're a Jets fan or a Winnipeg Jets player, more critically, something switched in your head. It turned on, so to say, and it may get you as far as you want it to go. First goal against Winnipeg, a Winnipeg Jets team that looks significantly different in the first and the second period than they did in the finals. And this is what I'm talking about, where those lessons need to be learned as the puck's coming up. Gabe Vilardi, caught. Flat-footed. That's fine. It happens. Things occur, but you got to learn. You got to take players at different angles, at different speeds. Blues bust through. Kyle Connor, same thing. Flyby. Take a look at Connor here. 81. Needs to be on that puck supporting. Doesn't. Gets on the right side of the puck, but realistically, you have an opportunity to turn that one over. This wouldn't be the story of the Jets for the third period and the overtime, and it's a good thing they learned that lesson soon. Puck moves over to Kyrou. And Connor's already out of place. Done nothing on this play. Vilardi's come back and worked hard. DeMello's done his part by pinching a guy off on the boards. But Connor needs to be able to do something there. He doesn't. They move it over to Parayko, and this is way too close. Connor Hellebuyck doesn't have a chance here. Moves over to make the save. Puck comes back to Kyrou. Connor's out of place. And he's caught reaching. Sticks like this That doesn't say playoff hockey. That says I give up. Well, he didn't give up later. Things get worse for the Jets from here. Josh Morrissey picking up a loose puck. Moves it around the boards. A hit here is fine. There's nothing wrong with a hit at this moment in time. But watch his elbow on the right side. Bang. Takes him right out at the chin. You can see it here on the slowdown. Sundqvist leeches in, reaches in. Watch his right elbow. Nothing wrong with this hit. Pops it back. Bang. Now, there'll inevitably be people fired up, ready to go to the comments. Let me talk about all the other times and victim atrocities that happened to me. That's not the point of the hit. It's not the point of me showing it. The point of me showing it is that to have your number one player go down from a hit like that needs to teach you something as a team. It needs to teach you several things. The Josh Morrissey hit, the Mark Scheifele hit need to teach you. You need to get them before they get you. This is playoff hockey. No one's coming to save you. No referee, no league, nobody. The only one that's coming to save you is you and your teammates. That's all you got in that locker room. Players are going to take liberties with you. They'll shake your hand after and be classy, but on the rink, they're trying to kill you. That's the way hockey works. Both sides. You need to be the first one to set the tone. In the next series, you can't allow players to take runs like that. You can't even give them breathing room to take runs like that. Doesn't matter if it's a cross check, a high hit, an elbow, a stick to the teeth. You need to find a way to protect yourself that way and let them know that this is not acceptable. That's the game within the game. You can't wait for someone to protect you. Neil's fired up about it. He has every right to be. You can go tit for tat a million different ways, and fans will do that in comments and other social media sites. But the takeaway and the lesson here, I said there's lessons to be learned, and they learned them. The lesson here is you need to protect yourself. Is it a cheap shot? Yes. Do you know those things are coming? Yes. Is it part of the playoffs? Yes. Do I gripe, cry, or worry about it? Nah. It's just the way the game goes. I'd just rather we do it first. If that sounds callous, well, then you haven't played hockey at the highest level in the playoffs, or any level at the playoffs for that matter. The way it goes when you're on that ice. There is no more code. There's no more fighter coming to protect you. That was thrown out a long time ago. It's very hard to do it. So this is what the games become. That's fine. You just got to know the rules within the rules. The ref isn't going to call many penalties on either team. Most of the ones that will get called will be extremely chintzy, and they'll be even up. This game had 2 penalties for the Jets, or 2 power plays for the Jets, 1 for the Blues, in a game that had 73 hits from the Jets and 43 from St. Louis. The lesson to learn here is protect yourself and get them before they get you. Playoff hockey is part of it. Let's hope Morrissey is back early, but you never know with a concussion. Broken hands heal, cross checks to the ribs heal. Doesn't matter. Could be a shot to the nuts. These things heal. This thing up here doesn't always heal. It's a very dangerous hit. No matter what, you can't allow your brain to get clipped. Let's hope Josh is back, but the second lesson it teaches, I told you there were multiple layers to this onion, baby. The second lesson it teaches is how can you play without your best? You need to play without your best. The Dallas Stars won without Robertson and Heiskanen. Yes, they have very good players. The Jets won without Morrissey and Scheifele. The Blues were down Holloway. Everybody is injured all the time, but champions rise above it in moments like this. I think they learned that lesson tonight. Next lesson, don't get cute with it. There are certain ways to play in the playoffs, and you have to be certain of everything you do. Puck moves up to the middle here. Kyle Connor's got his head up. Unlikely flub of the puck, but he does it. Turns over mid-ice. Gonzo. As Joseph picks the pocket of Kyle Connor, Josh Morrissey is doing what needs to be done here. He is waiting for help. When you back up like this on turnovers, defensemen will back this far into the zone because they're waiting for help. They're waiting for their partners to come take it away from them. Well, you know what I don't see? I don't see a skating stride. I see gliding, and I see kind of skating, and I see gliding. That's all I see here is guys going, Josh has got this. Connor has got this. It'll turn around and be on our stick. He doesn't got it. You can see better from this angle as they're coming back. None of this to me says guys are coming back with any kind of worry or reckless abandon, and you need to have that in the playoffs as this puck comes through. Lesson learned for Connor Hellebuyck as well too. You have to come a little more out of your crease. I know he plays like that, but at this point in time, it's time to anticipate. Throw the textbook, throw all the studying out. Sometimes you just got to feel it. Getting beat short side there, I'm sorry, it's not feeling it. Lesson learned. So if lessons are fuel, goals are sparks, and goals from young players like Cole Perfetti at opportune times are critical. This is huge for teams. Second thing that's critical, win a draw. Your number one centerman is gone. You didn't pick up one at the deadline. Your face-off percentage is mid at best. And at this point in time, your number one defenseman is gone. Your power play's in shambles. Win that draw to Neil Pionk. Time to play with feel. You don't practice this type of stuff. Guys are injured, they're out. But that's fine. You're a world-class athlete. Make it happen. You move it over to Kyle Connor here. Kyle Connor's going to move it down to Cole Perfetti. And one big thing you have to learn about Jordan Binnington, I've said it all series, you have to go up high on him. There's no option anywhere else. My dad has coached for many, many years. Where do you think I get it from? He was the one that pointed this out first. Up top is always open. Down low has nothing. It doesn't exist. He's taken it away. He's also 6'2". That is tall, but not tall for a goalie. 6'4" is tall for a goalie. That's 2 more inches above the shoulders. He has to hold his post here. Beautiful tip by Perfetti. And what does it find? Right up. Binnington doesn't even move. Go back. There's nothing else you can do. Watch Binnington's head. Bink, it's right in. Didn't even see it. Because he's down low. He's in his position. He's anticipated. He's taken away the likely play, which is the pass in the post. Go up high. I don't care if it's a defenseman. I don't care what it is. At his head, at his ear, high, bar down. Nice goal, Perfetti. The final lesson St. Louis would teach. 46 seconds down. We've seen this before. We've been on the ride. We've got the t-shirt. Line 4. Line 4 again. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a phenomenal line 4 from the St. Louis Blues. Full credit to these guys. But when you are a President's Trophy winner and you let line 4 put on 5 goals in 2 games against you, no, not an acceptable piece. So you got to find a way to tighten that up. There is no excuse. Line 4's only job, as quoted by the man, Patrick Maroon, from this team, literally 5 days ago, is to play a role to allow their other players to rest, bang bodies, put bucks deep, get that 8 to 10 minutes in and go. It's been productive. Probably the best line on the Blues. Schenn moves it over. No problem. Big wide play. Once again, the game isn't skill. It's mental. The Jets don't miss plays like this. Most hockey players don't. Your head's not in it if you miss it. Take a look here again. We're going to go back. That puck's already, at this point in time, it's already on his back foot. It was a fine enough pass. You should be able to take this up. Sticks presented properly. When we present sticks, we present this way and we put our hands out because we need, and there's a lot of people on this channel that are brand new to hockey, so they might not know this. Sorry to the vets who are experienced. You take the puck like this so you can pull the puck back into your body. This is a standard position to receive a pass. Comes in, misses. Turnover. Neutral zone turnovers, you've heard me talk about it. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. 3-on-2, defensemen have to gap in and back in. There's nothing you can do. Well, what do we see? Tired Velarde. Skating back, they're doing their best at this point in time right now. But you hold the line as defenders waiting for your forwards to get back. If they're unable to get back and create numbers for you on the back check, you end up with 2-on-1s. 3-on-2s always end up with 2-on-1s unless the back checker gets back. Moves over to Faxa. Faxa puts it right there in the top right corner. Where's Connor Hellebuyck? Deep in his crease. Well, with 2 minutes left in the period, the Winnipeg Jets would finally start learning those lessons. Loose puck. You need it. You need to beat him. Look at Adam Lowry get body position here. Gets his stick in. Take a look at him getting back up. Nino Niederreiter is going to push in here. This is the reckless abandon you have to play with if you want to win a Stanley Cup. And they finally wake up. 2 guys go down. Working so hard, they're down. Nino's in. Big body. 2 guys up. Samberg holds it. Moves it over. Pionk right over here to Nemestikov, who is going to step in and do what we've said you should be doing all series. Put anything on net that Jordan Binnington isn't calculating because he is guessing better than anybody. And he was not expecting a shot here, and it beats him. Here it is again as he goes to shoot. I don't believe for 1 second Binnington thought this shot was going to come in. He holds his post. He's overcommitted to the left side. And that overcommitment to the left side, thanks to the screen from Adam Lowry, opens up the side of the net, and Nemestikov makes a snipe that will go down in Jets infamy. And while we haven't talked about him yet, we need to now. Dylan Samberg was likely the second best Jet on the ice today. It's him or Cole Perfetti. Take your pick. Samberg was absolutely elite and electric tonight. Stable, contained, big skater, big hits when he needed, the right shot when he needed. This is a game where you can point to a Nexus event that Dylan Samberg has leveled up into a top pairing defenseman. If he continues this on, this is how you make a name in the business for yourself. He looked phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal tonight. Neil Pionk, great job, as expected, $7 million man. But Dylan Samberg, wow, what good playing by him. Puck in the bottom left corner. This is a moment of time where the game is over. There are 10 seconds left and you're in a board battle 3-on-2. The odds of getting a puck out of this and getting a shot of any quality, almost impossible. Gabe Vilardi, I told you he was a massive game-breaking player. For other guys who aren't Jets fans on this channel, kicks it up to his skate right there. That kick up to the skate gets turned over. And once again, with 8 seconds left, you think that's it. It's the captain, Adam Lowry, who bumps it out to the point. And a whiff by Nick Ehlers. I'll get my head out of the way for that one there so you can see it again. Puck to the point, a whiff. And it'd be the whiff and an accident that would finally break the puck luck open for Winnipeg. I've always said there is no luck in hockey, only hard work. Well, there's some luck. Here's some hard work. Adam Lowry sees it. He reaches in and he pulls the puck out of nowhere and he gives it right back to Ehlers, who then decides on an absolutely beautiful slap pass to move it over with 3.8 seconds left. Everybody is caught. The game should be over. Connor does not get everything on it. That is not the look of a man at the far end of your screen that has gotten a good shot. It's a near whiff. You're just throwing anything on net. Cole Perfetti finds it and beats Binnington for his second time tonight. Bang. Up high. But this isn't just about goals. This is about Connor Hellebuyck turning it around. Gabe Vilardi, no idea what he's doing on this one. It happens. It's a brain fart. It's at the absolute worst possible time. We said it. You can't make excuses. You just have to win when you're the league MVP. Moves it out, wide open in the slot. Connor Hellebuyck, big dynamic save. You got to steal those, and he stole it. One more steal. Outside, blocker, gone. It was save after save by Hellebuyck. I understand the Jets outshot them, but any one of those chances could go in. It's overtime. And when you don't get a lot of shots as a goalie, sometimes that's worse. A guy like Jordan Kyrou getting a shot like that, and the history of what has happened in this series, everything said those shots should have gone in. There were 3 or 4 more. Hellebuyck was 1 to 2 feet outside of his crease on those ones. He was challenging. Instincts had kicked in. Sometimes you have to be tired to turn your brain off. I think that helped the big man. For the rest of the overtime period, every chance that St. Louis had would be taken away by aggressive stick checks, diving plays by the Winnipeg Jets. I couldn't find it. I wanted it for you so badly. I wanted to show you Cole Perfetti diving with his face across the goal. I wanted to say ringette line. That's how jazzed up I am right now, but across the circle, top of the circle, diving with his face first to block a shot and take a near sure goal away. It's this type of intensity from players that wins cups. It's this type of intensity when you go to the locker room that allows you to go to sleep and believe you know now you have that extra gear. Kyle Connor behind the net, second OT, 3 minutes left. The Blues are caught, moves it back to Neil Pionk. Pionk does an amazing job here, dancing, moving, and of course it is Adam Lowry. And the irony that it would be a net front present battle that ends this series is basically zero. This entire series has been about net front. They beat Binnington and the roof explodes. Jets fans, sleep easy tonight because on Tuesday you do it all again. The players though, oh boy, they're going to sleep well, but they are going to be hurting. The question is against Dallas. Are they going to be ready? Let me know what you think down below in the comments.